You're watching Rogers TV.
Welcome to An Hour to Give. I'm Sam Laprade, and this time every single week we get together and speak about community, volunteerism, and philanthropy. And for those that may be interested in a career in philanthropy or understand how fundraisers do those important jobs, this is the show for you. And I'm so excited to welcome our very first guest representing the Association of Fundraising Professionals, Ottawa chapter, my dear friend, Bronwyn Dearlove. Hi, Bronwyn, how are you?
I'm very well, Sam. Thank you for having me again.
I am so excited because you and I met, and I adore you, through AFP.
That's right.
And I think that's one of the best things that AFP does, is it makes those connections. For those that don't know what the Association of Fundraising Professionals is, or as we call it, AFP, tell us all about it.
Yes. So, and we did meet too many years ago.
Yes.
But through AFP, those connections, AFP exists to help charities and nonprofit organizations make the world a better place. We do that here locally in Ottawa by providing resources, professional development to fundraisers so that they can go back to their organizations and make them stronger, and in turn make the community stronger. So where connection comes in is it's that community of practice that is so, so important. As you know well, many of your guests on this show are from smaller, leaner organizations where often there is only one person carrying the responsibility for fundraising or grant writing. For many, it can be a high-pressure job. It can be lonely. Internally, there may be no other colleagues who truly understand the work. So AFP provides a trusted community of practice where fundraisers can learn from one another through both formal and informal opportunities to connect.
I want to put all that on a t-shirt and just wear it everywhere.
Little tiny letters.
Yeah, exactly. But you've done a beautiful job of really explaining it, but explaining what the association does, because I think people think, oh, you just kind of get together and there might be a conference. But what I've found, because, and for those that may not be aware, I mean, obviously, I love to do this show, but I'm a fundraiser at heart. I've been doing it for close to 35 years. I can't believe I just said the number. But from my perspective, there's days where I've worked so hard to try and land a gift where someone in our community wants to make a difference, whether it's maybe for a social service or it's with animals or whatever it's with, and maybe, it just hasn't come to fruition like I thought. And like you said, it could be a lonely place. So there's where I would reach out to maybe Bronwyn and say, Bronwyn, do you have 5 minutes for me today?
Exactly.
So it's really those connections.
We are each other's cheerleaders, coaches, therapists sometimes, and great friends.
Great friends, beautifully said. And for those that may not be kind of aware of the history of AFP, of course, we are so blessed to have it here in Ottawa. We just celebrated the 31st version of our Philanthropy Awards, which was wonderful. But it's been around a long time, but it's not just here in Ottawa.
No, we are one chapter in over more than 240 chapters worldwide. And here in Ottawa, we have about close to just over 200 members, and then other fundraisers who also come out to AFP events and learning opportunities and networking opportunities as well. So fundraising in the nonprofit sector accounts for 10% of Canada's workforce in the economy. We're a big part of making our communities better, working in partnership with governments and private organizations. And so having donors and volunteers working with fundraisers for the causes they love, it's all part of the mix.
And you brought up a really good point, because I think a lot of people don't realize as well that the work we do accounts for 9%, close to 9% of our GDP.
It does.
This is not small potatoes.
It does.
This is billions of dollars, not only from an impact perspective. We're helping our neighbor with food insecurity, we're helping with a cancer coach, whatever it is, in terms of the organizations and charitable organizations in the city. But it is a powerhouse when it comes to the economic drivers here in this country. So beyond Ottawa, these are important jobs.
That's right. That's right. Charities exist. As donors, we all want our favorite causes to do the work we want to see in the world to make our communities stronger. But in order to do that, charities need money. They need, they have a right, they have a duty to ask people for support, because we know that unless someone is asked to make a gift, they're most likely not to. We are all just people going about our day, and to have that thought and say, I'm going to make a gift today is actually quite unique and special. So fundraisers help, professional fundraisers help us, charities work efficiently and effectively so that we can use the money you donate the way you want it to be used.
Beautifully said again. And I think the other piece that I really want to reiterate is the donor bill of rights. So this is important for us as fundraisers, but it's really important for the donor. Because without donors, we don't have these roles. And to be honest with you, the impact isn't made. So the fact that we have the donor bill of rights, the fact that there are ethics, we are taught ethics, it's a very important part of the way that we raise money. I think that's important to mention today.
That's very important. A lot of people who may not know that ethically, if I were to move from one organization to another, I wouldn't necessarily be able to bring those donors with me. Those relationships are on behalf of the organization where I work, and there are ethical boundaries around those, and we must observe those for the safety and comfort of the donor, and for the health of the organization and the community as well.
Yeah, wonderful. And when I think about, because I don't really want to think about the pandemic, but I will say, because at the time I was on a local radio station, I was a talk radio host, and I remember this moment, and I think this is the moment I always remember from the pandemic, when the Prime Minister at the time, Justin Trudeau, stood at the stairs of Rideau Cottage and said to the Canadians to come home. If you were abroad, to come home. The next words out of his mouth were, now we need to lead on, and he named all of these charities. And what I remember thinking, because of course I'm a talk radio host, I'm trying to focus on what the issue is, but I remember thinking all of my fundraising friends in the country are going to be having a heart attack, because some of them are at home working on their ironing board with a Commodore 64.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It was a lot of pressure during the pandemic. One beautiful thing happened in the pandemic. Many people that were in other jobs wanted to also become fundraisers.
Yes.
So talk to me about that.
It's an amazing career for anyone who values authentic relationships, getting to learn about people and what makes them tick, what goals they have in the world, for people who are goal-oriented themselves and have a strong set of values and want their work to be about helping other people as much as themselves. So if that sounds like you, come and see us.
Yes.
There's no one pathway into fundraising. There's no one fundraising job. It's going to look different in any organization that you're with. It could be a large or small organization. So many different causes, whether it's animal welfare or health for humans or education, the arts, all of those, and many sub-sectors underneath. There really is something for everybody, and it's that variety and diversity and commitment to each of these parts of our society that make it, what is it, greater than the sum of its parts.
And we see people coming into the sector right out of, maybe it's a public relations program or a communications program, that kind of thing. But we also see people saying, I've worked 25 years doing this. Maybe it's sales, maybe it's, anything. Like you say, it could be anything. And then go, I want a second career and I want it to be rewarding. And there's not a week goes by, someone doesn't drop into my LinkedIn and goes, can I have a conversation with you about fundraising?
Exactly.
And AFP plays a really important role here because of the events. So talk, and the education piece. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So fundraising is a skilled profession with now more and more formal higher education programs, certifications, and evolving best practices. We know this. That said, there are so many transferable skills that people can bring into a second or subsequent career in their life. AFP bridges that, that bridge between the theory and the practice. So a lot of what we learn in books is going to look very different from what we learn when we're actually in the conversation with the person, or with the person carrying out the work, or the person who wants to fund it. And so having AFP provide those professional development opportunities of there's a change in the tax code, or there's a new nuance that we need to think about in when we're dealing with vulnerable communities and working on behalf of them. All of those topics are things that we are constantly updating and evolving in our work at AFP.
And I think it's really important that people understand that this is a profession. Because I think people think, oh, well, yeah, I ran a fundraiser, I did a bake sale. I mean, this is beyond that. We're talking $1 million gifts in some cases. But I will say some of my most rewarding gifts, and I'm sure it's the same for you, is somebody that has saved. It's a sacrificial gift. They're giving you $250 to the Humane Society or wherever it is, and that gift really means a lot to them, or they're becoming a monthly donor. So there's so many different revenue streams as well. So there's people like me who love being in front of people, and I love doing major gift work and plan giving work. And then there's people like, I like to do direct mail. I'm writing the letters, but I'm not in front of people. So once again, the opportunities are just there for so many people with all of these different revenue streams.
Exactly, or behind the scenes as well, even further in the database, in finance. We're going to talk to Cherry in a second. Yes. So many different roles, and yeah, it is remarkable. And I think about my very first fundraising day. And I was working for an organization, and they said, oh, we've paid for you to go to fundraising day. And I was like, fundraising day? I didn't know clue. And I got there and I thought, these are my people. I found my people. And then there was times, and I'll be honest, that sometimes, an organization I was working for didn't want to pay, and I paid myself. That's how valuable it was to me that I have that kind of training. Fundraisers, I find fundraisers to be very committed to the work they do, committed to the causes that they work for and work to advance, and to the beneficiaries they serve, to the community they want to make better. And sometimes that means if you're working for an organization that is still counting paper clips and running out of your basement, then you as the fundraiser might be earning a paycheck, but you might also be paying for your own professional development. AFP in Ottawa, we feel very strongly that we want to remove barriers to our offerings. So if I've just described you, still check us out. There's a place for you here, and we can make it work.
And one of the things I love is that I'll never be a doctor. I am not a talented musician. There's just certain jobs I could never do. But I love being this person in the middle that matches someone with the passion and drive to do the work with someone that has the passion and the generosity to make the work happen. And I'm this person, sometimes very quiet in the middle, that makes this beautiful connection. And I think that's the part that gets me up in the morning.
I love that. The idea of the matchmaker, yes, absolutely. I also like the idea, the concept of the translator. So if you're working in a large hospital and you're fundraising for an MRI, you might not be operating the MRI or reading results, but you need to be able to explain it to the people that you're asking to support it.
Beautifully
So
said.
there are lots of things, lots of skills to draw upon.
Well, you're my favorite president.
Well, thank you very much.
Bronwyn Dearlove, of course, president of AFP Ottawa. We're going to share so many wonderful stories today about how AFP is working in our community. When we come back, you're going to meet one of my favorite people, another favorite person. Stay with us on An Hour to Give.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Welcome to Community News and Events on Rogers TV Channel 22. I'm Amanda Mendonça. Get ready for the Canadian Culinary Championship, taking place on January 30 and 31st at the Rogers Center, 55 Colonel By Drive, and College La Cité, 801 Aviation Parkway. This premier national food event brings together 10 of Canada's top chefs competing in exciting challenges before the grand finale. Guests can sample incredible dishes, enjoy Canadian wines and spirits, and witness culinary creativity at its finest. Live music by Spirit of the West. For tickets and details, visit greatkitchenparty.com. To have your community news or events listed on our website, please go to rogerstv.com. Click on events and post your event. That's it.
Are you a content creator looking to expand your audience and make your voice heard in your community? Rogers TV wants to provide you with a platform to share your hobbies, interests, and stories for free. Visit us to find out more.
Everybody knows not to drink and drive, but some people still think it's okay to take drugs and drive. Police have the authority, the ability, and the tools to determine if drivers are impaired by legal or illegal drugs. And because drug-impaired drivers can pose just as great a risk as drunk drivers, they face the same penalties, like the loss of their driver's license, a criminal record, fines, and more. A message from the RCMP, the Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police, and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
Well, today is all about one of my favorite associations, and it is the Association of Fundraising Professionals here in Ottawa. And I've got to tell you, one of the best things that happens with AFP is watching mentors and mentees connect. We're going to learn all about that right now with Melanie Laprade. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Melanie, tell me a little bit about what you do in the world.
In the world, I'm a director of client experience at GoodWorks. So I work with an agency that works with charities, and we help them with individual giving campaigns, from Giving Tuesday to renewals to emails, ads. Direct mail, of course, I lead a team at GoodWorks that works with all kinds of charity partners.
GoodWorks doing great work, actually, yes. And Delilah Salem, how are you, my friend?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me again. I'm so honored.
So excited you're here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
So you wear so many hats, but we're going to talk about BGC Ottawa.
Let's do it.
Because that's how we were connected the first time. And so talk to me a little bit your involvement there.
So I'm an advanced youth worker at BGC Ottawa. I started a youth-led initiative called Sidelines with Delilah, which is my little side gig where I started by interviewing basketball players, fans, coaches, because we have summer league every summer, and now I've kind of branched out into the community doing different events, and it just turned into something that kind of brought donors to the club, which I never expected it to be.
You have made incredible impact, Delilah. So I just want to say that first off. Now, I'm going to take us back to November of this year. I received a note in September saying that my dear friend Delilah, I'm going to cry, was receiving a youth award. So the Philanthropy Awards, I'm going to tell everybody, the Philanthropy Awards are these wonderful evenings where people are recognized in the community. The Youth Award I've always been very excited about. And when I got that email saying that you were going to be the recipient of the Youth Award, you have no idea. I squealed all by myself because I was so excited for you, because I thought it was really lovely you were getting that kind of recognition. What did that night mean to you?
That night meant the world to me. It was almost like a wake-up call, because I feel like I have a hard time acknowledging sometimes when when something is going well and I'm doing something, like a good job at something. And I feel like that was almost a reassurance, like, Delilah, you're on the right track, you're doing good and people are seeing it, It was very rewarding, and I felt so honored to be there, and my family was there to be there and support me, and everyone that has supported me at Boys and Girls Club, it's just a full circle moment.
And then there was a little twist that night. So I've been very blessed. I've hosted the awards for many, many years, and we decided to bring you in and help me host. You did a beautiful job. That was probably the biggest sort of moment for the night that people commented to me for weeks after, how beautiful job you did. So that's wonderful to know.
I just want to say thank you for even inviting me on stage to do it with you, because that's an honor in itself. Girl, I'm so happy to be in the same room as you.
You're very sweet. I said to you that night, I'm going to be working for you someday. I know that. I know that 100%.
Oh, dear.
So, and I watched Delilah speak, and I don't know if you noticed it. You're just like the pride, I can tell. So talk to me a little bit about what it means to see young people come in through Future Leaders, funded by RBC, to our beautiful association.
Yeah, it's amazing to see people like Delilah just kind of rise up through the profession. It's a profession that there's not a whole lot, I mean, it's getting better, but there's not a whole lot of formal education training in fundraising. And it really is, it really does take a talented, experienced person to do this job well. And I think people can sometimes forget about that. And people, I know, as I was a young fundraiser, I came up through the ranks in politics of all things.
Wow.
And it was really important. I had a mentor in my political days that really just kind of guided me and showed me the way. And you kind of learn through trial and error. And it takes a lot of commitment and enthusiasm, which you obviously have in spades. So it's amazing to just see people like Delilah in the profession and kind of the next generation of fundraisers coming up through the ranks.
And RBC has backed this program for many, many years. It's wonderful to see. When you found out that there was this Future Leaders program with RBC, which means that you can be connected with AFP, they fund and help you cover some of these costs to ensure that you have this beautiful, sort of way to get connected to a mentor. What were your thoughts? Were you kind of like, I can't believe someone's done this?
I think it's such an amazing opportunity, because I feel like so many people, youth, adults, they want to start something and they just don't know where or how to. So having these opportunities allows you to take that first step that you need to in order to do something that can make change within your community. So it's so important, for sure.
And when we think about, fundraising day, we think about the webinars, we think about those education moments that we spoke to Bronwyn Dearlove about earlier. All of those moments, I, of course, love the education. I love all that piece. But sometimes it's the hallway calls, or the hallway chats, I should say, or it's the, oh my gosh, I'm going to reach out to you, let's get together for coffee. Talk to me a little bit about how we work with the young people to ensure that they know they're supported in this work.
Yeah, absolutely. So we match up every year. Thanks to RBC, we're able to match up 25 to 30 mentors and mentees together. And certainly we structure events. There is fundraising day. There's lots of social events. There's those learning opportunities that you talk about. But we really do encourage just casual coffee meetups or those quick phone calls or Zoom calls or video chats. And it's really just nice to know, I think, both from the mentor perspective as well as the mentee perspective, that you have someone that you can just call. I know that both sides of the coin, both the mentor and the mentees, say that they benefit from just what they can learn from, a young up-and-coming early career fundraiser versus someone who's been in the field for 20, 30 plus years. It's just really nice to have a friendly face when you walk into those places, and certainly, you have access to a bigger network, especially if you're kind of new to the sector, to walk in, see a friendly face, and get to meet new people, everywhere you go.
And I always picture these 25 or 30, I mean, we've had this going on for many years, so it's hundreds of people now, that I've envisioned someday that that's the people that are going to be sitting in these chairs. Well, you're sitting here already, but these chairs, right? This is who's going to ensure the funding for the hospital that all need care at. They're going to be raising money, right? So I think it really is cyclical in terms of the give back and of those moments where we can become connected.
Yeah, I mean, my start with AFP was I was a mentee many, many moons ago with Fraser Green.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So it really is full circle for me, just kind of coming in, and I'm a mentor myself now, but remembering all those years ago when I was just kind of an itty bitty baby fundraiser and just soaking up all of the knowledge that I could whenever I could. So it's really great to be able to give back to the program that I feel gave so much to me.
For sure. I had no idea about all that. That's fantastic. I thought I knew you, but that's wonderful. The other piece, too, that I always love to do, which you're going to get a kick out of, whenever I'm mentoring somebody, I always say, can I tell you all the things I did wrong? And I say that because This is very much the practice of fundraising. So you might send out a direct mail campaign one day and it does really well, and you've tweaked it somehow the next time and it doesn't do well. So what's learning in that? And I love sharing that. And you are sponges for this. So, sort of having those moments, is that something you really embrace as well?
110%. I wanted to touch on what you were talking about earlier, because having that like one call away or just those little coffee dates, I think it's so important to kind of break the barrier, because sometimes as a youth, I feel like it can be intimidating working with someone that has so much experience, and you feel like, what if I say the wrong thing, or but it's like, I think it's so important to have those like casual moments, maybe like sometimes unprofessional moments where you feel like this is almost a friend, someone that you look up to in that sense. You're asking for advice. It's just like when you FaceTiming your friend, like, girl, I have this problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's so important. That is so, so important. So I think that is very valuable to sometimes break that barrier and also like break that hierarchy, because we're all here to help each other all around. And sometimes you never know, maybe the youth could be the one helping the mentor in some way as well.
Can I tell you something? That is the truth.
Absolutely.
Especially, I'm just going to put up my hand and say technology. I'm like, can you help me with the blah, blah? And, oh, yeah. So I think that's really important. What would Melanie, itty-bitty, early baby fundraiser Melanie, want to hear from the Melanie of today?
I think she would want to hear that it's okay to make mistakes, that you learn the most from the mistakes that you'll make. And as you said, oftentimes that's the knowledge that you're passing on to people that are new to their career. It's just, don't do this because I did this. And you learn a lot of lessons that way. And especially, like I said, in fundraising, it's such a dynamic profession. There's so many different types of fundraisers, types of ways to give, and different types of charities and sectors and all of that. That you really are just learning primarily through doing, and you're going to make mistakes along the way, and it's just going to make you a better fundraiser.
I love your answer so much. I love it so much. So talk to me about what Delilah today is going to tell Delilah in 2036.
Oh my gosh, I mean, what have you been doing? What are you up to? Like, I feel like I'm all over the place. Like, what hat are you wearing right now, type of thing. So, are you CEO of Boys and Girls Club? Like, who knows? I don't know. But honestly, I just want to know where she's at and if she's continuing to try and put her best foot forward and give back to the community.
So there was a young man by the name of Adam Joyner who used to go to the Boys and Girls Club, who used to attend, and now he is the CEO.
I really look up to Adam too. He's one of my mentors, and I love his story so much. It was very impactful the first time I heard it. It brought me to tears, honestly. Like, yeah, exactly.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, I feel like his story goes to show that honestly anything is possible as long as you have a good heart and you want to do good. And you want to give back.
Well, Adam and Melanie are going to be cheering you on, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think that's what AFP is. Not to kind of made it, kind of rudimentary, but that's what it is. It's about connections, and it's about supporting, and it's about knowing that it's a $5 million or $500 million campaign, or you're trying to raise $5,000. It's all about connections in the community. And you two are fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your story today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for always wearing your heart on your sleeve.
It's a bit much sometimes, I'll be honest.
No.
But Delilah and Melanie, thank you so much. I appreciate it. When we come back, the one and only Cherry Chan will be here. She's going to talk about her commitment to fundraisers in this community.
Welcome to Community News and Events on Rogers TV, Channel 22. I'm Ramon DeFranco. Celebrate Winterlude 2026, Ottawa Gatineau's biggest winter festival starting January 30th. Experience the magic of winter with skating on the Rideau Canal, the world's largest naturally frozen rink. Don't have skates? No problem. You can rent skates at one of the huts along the route. Explore amazing ice sculptures created by talented artists. Enjoy snow slides, live music, and winter markets. Don't forget this Ottawa favorite, Beaver Tales. Winterlude turns the city into a winter wonderland. For full details, visit canada.ca and search for Winterlude. To have your Canadian news or events listed on our website, please go to rogerstv.com, click on events, and post your event. That's it.
I'm Wendell Clark with a word about winning. We all know it takes a team effort in any sport and with any challenge. You can be a part of the winning team that shuts out impaired driving. Whether you're out on the town or just hanging out with friends, drink responsibly. Always have a plan for a safe ride home for yourself, your family, and your friends. You'll be helping to shut out impaired driving.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
I love being a champ.
I am a member of the Warham's Child Amputee Program. Through CHAMP, I get the artificial limbs I need to participate in everyday activities.
I'm always growing, so I always need new devices.
Support and helpful information on living with an amputation is available to me anytime.
I get to meet other kids that are just like me.
It's your donations that make the Warham's CHAMP program possible. Thank you.
And we are back on An Hour to Give. I'm Sam Laprade, and I'm so excited to welcome Cherry Chan to the show today. Cherry is one of these people in the community that is there for fundraisers, but in a different way, connected with AFP, of course. Cherry, welcome to the show.
Well, happy to be here.
Yeah, so exciting. So talk to me, Cherry, about Otis. When we hear Otis Group in this community, we know you're doing great things. You're the president. Tell us what you do.
So Otis Group, we call it Otis Nonprofit CFO. What we do is that we are a financial management company that specifically help nonprofit organizations, in particular the Ottawa community nonprofit organizations, to keep track of their numbers, to make sure that they're making enough money to keep their books balanced, and also help identify opportunities for them to raise funds and stand on their own feet rather than relying on government funding constantly.
And I will tell you that you do wonderful work, and I've attended many of your events. I got to participate last year, which I was thrilled to do. I think what's really important about the work that you're doing, and the general community may not know this, but there's a lot of people that want to do the programming. They want to do the good in the community. And if they're like me, the financial side of all that is not the thing that comes naturally. So you fill this beautiful role for charities so they can do the stuff that they do well, and you do the stuff you do well to make sure that all of that can continue.
Yeah, like I never knew that, being a chartered accountant, and sometimes I always joke around this. Chartered accountant means can't add. Don't come to me to do math. But the reality is that the good news is that we have like calculators and softwares out there helping us. For us, I never thought that this. I always introduce myself as an accountant. I never knew that we have our own superpower too. And when I took over Otis and Focus, we have this amazing niche and focus working with nonprofit organizations. It all of a sudden brings some meaning to my boring chartered accountant or daily number crunching into my whole life. And it just brings it up to the next level.
Rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you work with one of another favorite person of mine, Lynn Ladd.
Yeah.
And you both are just in this community. I see you at events for the charitable organization. You've been a wonderful sponsor for many things as well over the years, many events and those types of activities. Why is it important for you to be seen and be connected in that way to AFP?
So obviously AFP is a very, to me, it's a very fantastic platform to train the next generation for fundraising professionals. And as a number person myself, I see a lot of nonprofit out there and a lot of our clients out there, they are having challenge with getting government fundings, and they are government funding is one thing, donor pool is depleting, it's another thing, or sometimes they just don't know where to start. So having being able to participate and partner up with AFP Ottawa to support bringing the next level of fundraiser out, and also bringing a standard and helping nonprofit sector in general is really close to, really closely aligned with what OTA's mission is, which is raising $50 million, helping nonprofit organization over the next 10 years to raise $50 million in terms of revenue, so that they can be sustainable on their own. They don't need to always constantly knock on the government's door and asking for more money.
So you're showing all the diversity within funding streams, which is wonderful. The other valuable role that you play is you bring them together. And I'm thinking about that really impactful day that I spent with you in the spring, and bringing people together to have those thought leadership conversations. I think that was something that surprised me. I'm thinking, why does Cherry and Lynn need to do this? They're busy people. But when I was in the room, I knew why. Tell me, why do you do it?
So I think people underestimate the power of community, or people just don't know how challenging and how lonely it is at the top. You have your own business and your own role in your own world. And a lot of the time, nonprofit professionals, they do not have a community to support each other, particularly the executive directors, because they are the leaders at the top. And sometimes they're connected to their team, but they can't always share every single bit. And they are the one that's taking on all the pressure from managing the budget, not having enough revenue coming in, or making the difficult decision to maybe let go of an employee that they really like because of budget constraint. All these are borne by the executive director, because that person is supposed to manage the whole team. And meanwhile, there is a board of directors, there is a group of people up there managing that particular person. And if the executive director is lucky enough to have a supportive board, then the job is easier. But if it's not, then you really need some help and peer support to realistically learn how to handle this type of situation and share the stress. And just the fact that you know that you're not alone helps a lot. And I myself benefit a lot from that particular type of environment, peer-to-peer learning. That's why we decided to bring out the OTA's Nonprofit Exchange Day, where we create a platform and bring everyone together in the Ottawa's nonprofit sector to mastermind and learn a few things, and mostly to network with each other so you can have a conversation and take the conversation further, not just end it on the event day.
Yeah, wonderfully said. What do you think is the biggest challenge facing nonprofit professionals today?
Underfunded, underappreciated. I see even Simon Sinek wrote a particular article not too long ago about how how nonprofit is not running efficiently, but they don't understand the operation behind it, the effort that needs to be put in to get to what the mandate is. And I think that's a huge miss.
Because I do think, I often, and I know a lot of people refer to the work of nonprofits and charities by a visual like an iceberg. So, 5 times deeper than what you see at the top is the CRM, the database. You've got all of your policies. You've got all of the tax laws you're following. You've got board meetings. You've got all of these things. And then people see the top piece and they think, oh, they put on a gala, how lovely. But they don't realize how much has gone in to be able to keep that void. And I think that is something that I worry sometimes for my nonprofit and my charity clients and friends, that they and clients for you, that we are providing them enough support. And I love the way Otis has showed up in that space.
Well, I think everyone should be able to help a little bit. And yes, our Otis big goal is to be able to help nonprofit clients to raise their revenues, be sustainable on their own, but also you and I, we are all helping in our own different way. One of the examples is that when we do our company event, we try to pick a nonprofit that we can have an experience with. And with that, what I mean is that we will be cooking or chopping food for the nonprofit while we're feeling connected with each other among our team members, but at the same time, we're learning a little bit about the local food bank situation. So those are the type of choices that we can make on consciously. Yes, we are getting something out of it, but we are also contributing to the community. And everyone can do that.
I saw a beautiful post on LinkedIn, and it was you showing up at an event, and you surprised them. You know what I'm talking about. Was, and they posted it on LinkedIn to say they could not believe that Cherry Chan, president of Otis Group, took the time to come and do that. That was very special.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I mean, that is the different small ways that we can do to support our members and clients, and that's why we choose to be partner with AFP Ottawa too, right? So then we can support them and help bring the message further.
We've got fundraising day coming up this year, May 20th. Very exciting. I'll probably see you there. And then, of course, the Philanthropy Awards is always a wonderful opportunity as well. Usually takes place in the fall, and recognizing all of those wonderful people in the community that have given back, and the fundraiser of the year and the Rising Star.
Absolutely.
And those are opportunities, I think, for people to realize that this is a profession, and the partnership between the donors and the nonprofit professionals, and then you come in beautifully in the middle, helping everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Any last words you want to share about Otis Group?
We really would need some help. We need help to identify nonprofit out there that would be willing to jump on the journey to raise their revenue, to be able to build sustainable revenue on their own. So if you know anyone out there that that's operating a nonprofit and would be interested in jump on this train, by all means, let us know.
Beautifully said. And when I think about the work that you do, and the fact that once again, you know, sometimes accounting isn't somebody's forte. How do you do it so they do have that sustainability? How do you work with them so they have that sustainability moving forward?
Absolutely. So the first thing that we would do is to identify their core expenditure. So when we look at a nonprofit organization, who's the most important pieces, what system must be staying. So then we have that, and then the first goal is to be able to find revenue to sustain that, rather than just constantly worrying about getting the next grant or getting the grant and then delivering, and then, oh, right, I need to get the next grant, and then the same cycle over and over again. We want to find things that the organization is specialized in getting, and they are unique in their own way. Every organization is unique in their own way. There are programming that they can offer and potentially charge a nominal amount and be able to bring enough revenue to sustain the basic operation. That's the first step.
Perfect.
The goal, just like what AFP Ottawa is doing, and all these AFP professionals doing, they are bringing in revenue. So the goal is to be able to find that sustainability number, and then bring in additional people to help build maybe down the road an endowment fund, and then generate enough revenue.
That's great. Thank you so much, Cherry. I really appreciate it. I loved hearing all about that. Thank you so much. Cherry Chan, of course, joining us today from Otis Group. When we come back, Richard Plummer, Jeff Todd, they will be here with me on An Hour to Give.
I'm Meg, and this is Fit Finley. Join me for Season 3 of Fit Over 50 with Meg, exclusively on Rogers TV. You're going to love the workouts that I lead you through. We're going to be using resistance bands, weights, your own body weight, and a chair. These workouts are for people over the age of 50, but no matter what age you are, you're going to love them. Can't wait to see you then.
Welcome to Ottawa in the Know. I'm Julie Finley. I'm happy to be here to show you everything from bike trails to kitchen tales and all the things in between that make Ottawa so great.
Welcome to CUNY News and Events on Rogers TV, Channel 22. I'm Ramon DeFranco. Do you have an aspiring author in the family? The Awesome Authors Youth Writing Contest 2026 invites young wordsmiths across Ottawa to show their creativity. Open to writers aged 9 to 18, this annual contest encourages participants to submit original short stories or creative works inspired by their imagination. Submissions are accepted until February 28th and will be reviewed by a panel of local authors and librarians. Winners will be recognized for their talent and creativity. For full contest details, visit biblioottawalibrary.ca or scan the QR code on the screen. To have your CUNY News or events listed on our website, please go to rogerstv.com, click on events, and post your event. That's it.
Join me, holistic chef Daniela Croco, for season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, right here on Rogers TV.
Okay, we're going to learn all about a very important day for the Association of Fundraising Professionals, and that is May 20th. I love it. It's so much fun. It's like old homecoming week, and it is a fundraising day happening here in the city. And the two guys that know all about it have joined me. Richard Plummer's here, and so is Jeff Todd. Hi, guys. How are you?
We're doing great, Sam.
Fantastic.
Great to be here. Yeah.
Let's start with what you do in the world. What's the job of Richard Plummer?
Well, I'm fortunate to be the vice president of B&P Inspire across Ontario and Western Canada. And our goal is really to build the capacity and sustainability of non-for-profits and charities through fundraising, strategic planning, and capital campaigns.
Wonderful. All very important work in the community. Absolutely. We're going to get back to Fundraising Day in a second, but I want to make sure our friend Jeff gets to talk a little bit about what he spends his day doing. You work 14, 15 hours a day, I swear, because I hear from you at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Sometimes a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 17 hours
on
a day.
On a good day.
And what's your day job?
We're a very alternative part of the fundraising landscape. So we're WCPD. It's a boutique financial services company. We're a national company, but we're headquartered here in Ottawa. But we specialize in a very niche part of the tax code. It's an area of the tax code known as charity flow-through shares. We're one of 4 companies in Canada that do it. And essentially what we do is we use the tax code to bring down the cost to donate, whereas normally it would cost you 50 cents to give $1 if you're at the highest marginal tax rate. We bring that cost to give down much, much lower than that. So we work with philanthropists and really leading Canadians across the country, helping them give more to charities of their choice by bringing down the cost to give.
And WCPD is no stranger to AFP. We just celebrated this year 10 years of presenting sponsorship for the Philanthropy Awards, or as we affectionately refer to them, the Phils. The very first year I heard that, I thought there was a guy named Phil. But anyway, but the Philanthropy Awards, Peter Nicholson, of course, at the head of WCPD, and his beautiful wife Annabelle have really committed, and yourself and your team have committed to AFP. Why?
We believe we not only are we in the business of philanthropy, whereby we help people give more to charities of their choice, we firmly believe that you also have to be part of the community of giving. I don't think you can be involved in it from a business perspective while also not walking the walk, so to speak. So it's incredibly important for us to work with fundraisers, to support fundraisers. We're part of the fundraising landscape. My favorite part about the fundraising landscape generally is that it's not a one-size-fits-all. There are so many professions that fit under the fundraising landscape. You were talking with Bronwyn earlier, talking about the GDP overall of fundraising. It's massive. There are so many different professions that fit within the fundraising landscape, and it's so important that we fundraise, for charities in Canada. I mean, it's essential that we get funds to where they need to go. So we support fundraisers because we work directly with fundraisers. We work directly with fundraisers, we work with their foundations, and it's just the right thing to do. I firmly believe, my dream job, which I'm pretty close to it. I think I am in my dream job overall, but I think anyone's overall goal in life should be doing something that earns them a good living and brings them fulfillment, but they're also doing something that's positive for the community. And so I think that's why you have to create the win-win, right? It's positive for yourself and for your future growth, but also for the community at large.
And I think it's really important too. I think people think of fundraising and think, oh, it's a money thing. And I don't know about you, but Richard, when I've been doing my work, and I got this wise sentence said to me many, many years ago, if it's not joyful giving, then it's a transaction. And I don't want to do transactions. I want to do sustainable fundraising where the donor walks away feeling almost happier than the organization that received the money, because they feel like their bucket has been filled. So fundraising is a really, really important part. And to learn how to do all things fundraising, we get together, as we mentioned, on May 20th, Fundraising Day. Tell us all about the big day.
Well, I think this is one of the traditions for AFP Ottawa that, continues to kind of, bring people together. We know in this business, there's a lot of opportunities where you're out there engaging with your clients and the community, but this is an opportunity to bring the professionals together. Those that spend, decades and years and days and months and weeks just committed to serving their community and supporting people and organizations who are trying to do great work in the community. So this is an opportunity for them for that day. And we know over the past 5 years, the opportunity to bring people together has been a little bit challenging, and people have actually gotten comfortable doing things online and not in person. And we know this business that we're in, it is all about the relationships and having that in-person relationship, whether it's with the donor or with your colleagues. And this just reinforces that and helps us to kind of just emphasize the fact that it's important to reconnect, learn from each other, and begin to share those relationships that help to kind of just make our communities better for everybody. And so it's a day of connecting, networking, education, and challenging ourselves sometimes to think outside of our own focused daily work and our own organizations, to really realize there is a bigger community and we have that asset that we can leverage and be part of.
And I will say you've already hit it out the park this year in terms of that, because I think there's a lot of people in the fundraising world that hear the words AI, or the letters AI, the words artificial intelligence, and they think, is that person going to take my job? But because I remember going to a conference like 5 years ago and there was a session on AI, and I'm like, I'm not going to that session. But what I realized was we can actually get the tools so we can do what we love doing better, and these tools help. So you're focusing on AI this year, Jeff.
Well, look, I mean, I'm a bit of an old soul as well, right? I mean, I'm one of those people that I still like physical books. There's still a lot of things that make me an old soul. At the same time, we chose Seize the Future as our theme this year because, look, AI is here whether we like it or not. The modern world is like, imagine the first time someone got a cell phone and how confusing that might have been, or the first time someone tried to boot up a computer. So it's here. It's going to be important, not just to fundraising, but to the world at large. But of course, still very important for fundraising. But that's why we really chose the theme Seize the Future for charities, for impact, for Canada. And the reason we chose that specifically is that you'll notice in a lot of our branding around the day, we want to maintain the human connection. One of my personal goals for Richard and I at this event is that we really want to show people, look, AI is important. It's here to stay. We need to know what the tools are and how to make this the best fundraisers we can and the best people we can. But how do we maintain the human element too? No, honestly, I think that is actually just intrinsically, that's the other side of the coin. One side is understanding the AI. The other side is how do we remain human? And what do we need actually to leave to humans? That kind of thing. So I think that's the balance I think we need to strike on the day itself.
Well, I think you're going to strike it because you're starting the morning off with a little levity, Richard. Talk to me about how we're kicking the day off.
Absolutely. I think it was really Jeff's approach to kind of come into this with the understanding that, at the end of the day, we want this to be an experience that's memorable for everybody. And we can go into the deep dive, the conversation, the technology, the strategies and all that. But again, we're bringing people together to create an experience and create a stronger fundraising culture here in Ottawa so that we can be seen as the best, not just the best city, but the best fundraising city in all of Canada as well. And so the levity part of it is critical because every day, oftentimes fundraisers are on stage themselves, delivering service and supporting others, and we don't get a chance to kind of step back and laugh at ourselves and have a little fun and just reflect on things that we're all here to enjoy our jobs and create a positive environment for all of us. So we're going to have some fun, what would you call it? comedic experiences. I won't necessarily let it out of the bag who's going to be there.
Yeah, I'm so excited. But there's going to be pros there. So of course, and some of our listeners and our viewers today might not know that I do stand up on this side, but we're also going to have some pros. So who else do we have?
I'll let Jeff share the details.
We have our very own Sam Laprade. You know, as for your listeners that don't know, Sam's quite a talented comedian in her own right, and you of course bring a beautiful, wonderful fundraising lens to that. We also have Simone Holder, who's who I'm very much looking forward to, and another gentleman named Pierre Bordeaux. That's Bordeaux. Yeah. So he's I think it's going to be a wonderful mix of talent. I'm excited to actually transform the space into a bit of like I have to transport people to a bit of a comedy club. I think the overall decision why we made it is that education is about more than just learning about something and sitting down and taking notes. Education takes on many forms, and we want Fundraising Day to be a place where fundraisers and people in the nonprofit profession generally can come and enjoy themselves. Look, they're taking this day off out of their normal grind to learn, to connect, to network. Have some fun with it, right? I mean, this day is also about just being yourself and just kind of relaxing a little bit. Not everything has to be a grind, right? And in that vein, we're actually bringing on somebody who's going to do mindfulness classes throughout the day as well. So if you want to take a few minutes and do a mindfulness class rather than go to just all sessions, I see it as equal parts lifestyle and education. I think both go hand in hand.
There's always been that phrase: if you don't take care of yourself, how do you take care of others, right? And I think that's a big part of this theme too.
100%. Anybody we need to thank for Fundraising Day so far? Anybody we want to give a shout out to?
Well, I would definitely thank KCI Philanthropy because they're our title sponsor, and they've been our title sponsor now for years. So I think this might be their 5th or 6th year. So they've been a real staple of the event at large. You had mentioned, you had talked to Melanie and RBC earlier, so the Future Leaders Program, which we started about 8 years ago now. All the mentors and the mentees will be introduced and meet, in some cases, for the first time at Fundraising Day. So it's an important day in a lot of ways. And one thing I would really encourage your listeners to understand is that this is an open book. We want people to come in and participate. We want people to get engaged in AFP. You don't have to be a direct fundraiser, in my opinion, to be involved in AFP. You can be a volunteer. If you have the heart of a fundraiser, then there's a place for you at AFP. The Future Leaders Program will be launching soon. You can apply to be a protege. If you're a young person looking for an opportunity to break into this profession and learn more about the various opportunities and do some networking and meet new people, there's a place for you. So I just hope people understand that, AFP is an open door, and if you want to learn more, please do reach out.
Beautifully said. I have to go, but give us the website.
Oh, well, there's AFP.
Ottawa.ca.
AFPOttawa.ca.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I really appreciate it very much. This has been a wonderful show. I'm hoping I've inspired you today to maybe think about a career in fundraising. Join us at AFP Fundraising Day, May 20th. Thanks to all of my guests today. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
Summer days, summer nights, lots of things to do, places to go, and people to see. If you're having a few drinks, be sure to plan ahead and get home safely. We don't want to pick you up. Drinking drivers risk injuries to themselves and others and take chances with their license, their jobs, and their future. Remember what's at stake and choose your ride, whether you're the driver, the passenger, or the party host. Thanks for supporting Sober